For 40 years, the Qandil Mountains were off limits to foreigners. The area was simply too dangerous due to heavy militant activity. That changed only a few months ago when the PKK announced plans to lay down their weapons and open the road. Today, we'll drive through remote mountains, tense military checkpoints, and even PKK territory. As some of the first foreigners to cross here since the 1980s, we'll share with you the stories from the most beautiful road in Iraqi Kurdistan, one you've only seen in the news. Until now. Join us. Hi, we're Jana, Peter and Yo-Yo. We traded the comfort of the life we built for the unknown, chasing our dream of full-time travel. We want to feel live again and reconnect as a family through discomfort and challenges. Come join us and let's see where this road will take us.
Good morning from Iraqi Kurdistan. Got up early today. Alarm clock went off at 5. By 6 we were already on the road, leaving Suleimania behind, avoiding traffic, avoiding heat. Now we are finally making it deeper in the mountains, and the destination for today is the road itself, because we are taking the famous Hamilton Road that's weaving through these beautiful Kurdish mountains, offering us so much natural beauty. The views to valleys, the views to dams, lakes, tiny Kurdish villages, farms, offering us this glimpse of how raw and rough life can be, how people survived in these mountains, living just off land and livestock in these tight-knit communities and tribes. One of the main reasons why this road was built at all was to unite the region, to unite the tribes. This morning we set off from Suli with the intention to explore the road that has been off limits to foreigners for over 40 years. But we didn't know about it.
Yeah, the owner of the hotel in Suli, where we stayed in, he told us about the most beautiful road to Ravandus, that we have to go this way. Okay, because it was the shortest one, I think,
It was,
on Google, so it checked off all the boxes. So we went that way.
Yeah, like in our minds it was like there's nothing to think about. Of course we are going to take this road.
It doesn't matter, but it does.
Because it does, and it did big time.
When we came here to Ravandus, we really made a deep research what we've done.
Yeah, what we just experienced. And at this point we realized, like, oh my God, what we had done.
We were first. That's why.
Well, someone has to be first. So it happened by accident.
We were probably first from what we know and how the checkpoints looked like, and soldiers didn't know at all in the checkpoints what they should do with us.
That's true. Yeah, they were looking at our ID cards in disbelief, like, what are you doing guys here? This is not the place to be, or
But they didn't speak English at all, so they can just say passport. So Petya took all our documents, me and they stayed in the car, he disappeared, I didn't know what is going on. We've been waiting like 15-20 minutes, but on the third checkpoint I didn't really care.
Yeah.
But there was like From the practical point of view, there were 4 Peshmerga checkpoints, which are usually, it's normal in Kurdistan. When you're traveling, there are always checkpoints, but not as often as on this road.
That's true. It was like more often than normal, and we were kind of used to it. Just the usual process. You just hand over the passport, and they check the passport. They let you go.
They always let us go. They never wanted passports in Kurdistan.
Actually, yeah. So it really, we didn't expect to spend there more than 20 seconds maximum. And suddenly we were staying at this checkpoints for 10, 15, even 20 minutes sometimes. So that was the first indication that something is going to be different in this area. So maybe we should explain like why this area is so different and what actually happened there. So basically, today we happen to be in Qandil Mountains. It's a very sensitive area because of the long-term fighting between Turkish forces and PKK. What happened that maybe 1 or 2 months ago, I think it was in May 2025, the PKK announced they're going to lay down weapons, and that means basically that the peace is coming into this region, which results into opening this spectacular road to public, and that's what we did today.
To foreigners.
Public foreigners, to us, basically.
Yeah. From what we know, access here was basically impossible for foreigners on this road, not to Ravandus. To Ravandus you could get there, but not by this road. So we went through the first 2 checkpoints. Each took like 20 minutes. And we went deeper into the mountains, and suddenly one armed guy jumped in front of the car from behind a tree. He started to speaking something Kurdish probably, and we didn't understand, of course, but he ignored the fact. He didn't speak one word English, nothing. So we were scared, like what happens now? We don't have clue what he's talking about. And he's armed, and then his friend probably came along, and he just said in English, "No photo, big problem." Okay, no problem. We don't photo, no video, and he had just like something strange in his eyes, and we weren't sure if we can go or no, and then he just waved his hand. So we continued, but from that moment we weren't sure what is really going on, and I was scared.
I think we were definitely very alert after this situation, and were paying a lot of attention to our surroundings, and
we didn't stop anywhere, not even for peeing, so if we wouldn't be like
suspicious.
And then we crossed a few PKK checkpoints, but there was no one. They were closed. We just passed them, and then finally Peshmerga checkpoint, but it was the longest one, probably 30 minutes. Like they were looking at us.
They were very thorough. They asked for car papers, they asked for passports, they asked us like what are we doing in this area, and the communication was through the Google Translate application. The internet was slow, it was taking a long time. They were making phone calls, they were talking to each other, they were looking at me, looking back at our car, taking photo of our car, our passport. So it was obvious that they're not used to tourists in this area, and there were many moments where we felt like we don't know what we are doing, but at the same time they didn't know how to handle the situation because it just didn't happen to them.
Just the most important information for us was that it's safe. And it is.
That's why we decided to go on this road.
But
it's a scenic road, it's a safe road.
It's the fastest one.
Also,
we've been traveling through Iraqi Kurdistan like almost 10 days. Nothing really happened. It's one of the safest places we've ever been. We are outside in the big cities with a small child.
Yeah, till 11 in the night.
Midnight even. And
taking taxis.
It's much more safer than in Europe. In like big city in Europe at this time, I would be scared. Yeah. But here, not at all.
Maybe to many people it sounds scary to be in Iraq alone in the night, but actually when you are here,
safe.
You can feel it. You can feel it.
Families are outside. Small children are playing outside. It's really very very safe place. But especially now in the summertime when the temperatures are reaching 45 degrees here in the northern Iraq, it's impossible to be outside in the daytime. It's just too hot to do anything. We tried. Yeah, we even had some plans to do wild camping in Iraqi Kurdistan, but then we changed our mind quickly because we wouldn't be alive. No way. Yeah. At this time of
so the life here, the rhythm of the life here is changed to compare to what we know from back home. And children, families, friends, everyone just starts to get out after the sunset. That's where the life begins in the streets.
Yeah, this was our first attempt to reach some more remote region in Iraqi Kurdistan, and I think it really depends. Every region is different. You can feel some way in one part and another way in another part of the country. So we are feeling very safe here. Just we need to adjust and get used to
the different rules.
Checkpoints.
Different.
We will be in mountains for maybe a week. So we will go to more villages and towns, and then we will see and we will compare it after.
And I mean, in no way it put us off from exploring Iraqi Kurdistan or just made us feel anything bad towards the region or the area, the country itself. I think not at all. It is just an experience, and the most important thing is that we were not fully aware of it.
Yeah, that was the biggest problem.
Yes, so having not enough information was the problem. Not that this area is sensitive or it's like that.
It's just really this one road, because in general in situation here in Kurdistan we read a lot about it.
Yeah.
But it's really
this
like
one specific
chances are so small to
but we hit jackpot.
Experience this.
But it was such a beautiful road. I mean, the nature there, the mountains, and the villages.
Unfortunately, we couldn't film the most of it.
Yeah, that's true. We filmed maybe first half.
And then from that PKK point, we didn't film or.
Yeah, we didn't want to take our chances. Nothing. Yeah.
If they took our gear and watched through the footage, we didn't want to risk it. So, but nothing like that happened in case.
And especially when you're traveling with a child, you don't want to get into this situation where you just stuck in a checkpoint for way too long, being interrogated about things. You just want to avoid that. So I think for this time it's going to stay in our memories, all these pictures we seen today. But hopefully the situation will be even better, even more peaceful, and even more welcoming for tourists to come, that they will let us to film all the way through.
Thank you for watching this episode. Hopefully you liked it, and see you from another part of Iraqi Kurdistan.
This is the most intense moment for me, when I have to say bye without being judged about the way how I say bye. So till the next episode, bye.